Welcome to Mindshifters Radio. Today is Tuesday, April the 14th, 2026. Go ahead, TJ. You were getting ready to tell us what's interesting.
Oh yeah, I recently volunteered to help out with the Livestrong Cancer Program at the Y, and just learning about what they do with the program. They haven't offered it for a couple of years, and so they brought it back this year. They were doing it before COVID. They were doing it twice a year, and now there's only one branch in our area that offers it. And so just working with them and learning what they know and getting to use a little bit of my lifestyle medicine information. So
Nice.
it's been good. Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's exciting.
It is doing something new and different, and just kind of stretching myself a little bit in that direction.
Well, we're doing some things new and different. We become book shippers with Jeannie's book coming out, and I'm working on writing. It's all Greek to me, so there's lots of new happening in our world.
Yes, becoming an
New
author
directions
is it's a big deal.
Yeah, Jeannie is now official. She is published.
Oh my goodness, it's exciting.
And Miss Susan, how are you, young lady?
I am well, Michael. How are you?
I am doing very well too. Just finished planting, or we're making wood ash for the garden. So I've been burning hardwoods and collecting the ash for our soil, and just pulled up a bunch of Virginia creeper and getting ready to plant tomatoes this afternoon.
Great.
So lots going on.
And Terry, congratulations on branching out like that. That is so cool.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It is kind of fun. I'm curious about the ash. So you're intentionally burning what type of wood for the
Hardwood.
ash?
Yeah, what
Okay.
happens when you burn hardwood, there's a lot of, like, you look at how solid hardwood is, and it's just loaded with nutrients and calcium and all sorts of things for plants. It's very alkalizing, so it just takes a small amount, but it adds just a really huge smattering of nutrients to the soil. So we're getting ready to mix together bone meal and wood ash and a couple of other things to feed tomatoes and some of the other plants that we're getting ready to put in the ground. We've just I guess we're about a week away from our last frost, and it looks like the future is bright for warm weather. So we're going to be putting plants in this afternoon.
Oh, excellent. And is it just a thin layer of the ash with the bone meal?
Well, actually, no. What I'm doing is doing a mix. I'm probably going to mix up, maybe a quarter or 2 quarts of some specialized tomato plant food and a liquid nitrogen fertilizer, the wood ash, and bone meal. So we'll do a mix, and then that we've already done a fermented soil amendment where the tomatoes are going to go. That's already been mixed into the soil. So we'll take this and put them right in with the tomatoes, and we'll see how it goes.
Sounds very scientific.
We're learning about gardening. That's been an interesting process, and I think with the insanity going on in the world, it's more and more important that we at least have access to some of our own food. The way that things are going in the Middle East, not only is oil becoming more scarce, but a lot of fertilizer comes through that area. A lot of farmers are going to be having difficulties, and food prices. I mean, who knows what's coming? It's pretty crazy what's going on. So definitely time for some healing. And yesterday we talked about a quote from one of the astronauts, the Artemis, that just landed after being slingshotted around the moon. I don't know if you've watched what that was about, but it's just amazing the way they calculate and send this thing off into space. And they apparently got some really interesting footage and learned some things about the dark side of the moon. And they do a slingshot effect, and gravity pulls it back around, and they landed in the ocean. I mean, it's amazing. But anyway, I ended up doing some looking for that quote that we were working or looking for yesterday, and it's amazing over what period of time how similar the quotes are from several astronauts. So I collected several of them, and scientists are calling it the overview effect, that when astronauts look at this blue pearl in space, and they have a realization, they have an experience that is pretty powerful. So Yuri Gagarin back in 1961 said, orbiting Earth in the spaceship, I saw how beautiful our planet is. People, let's preserve and increase its beauty, not destroy it. And then 1968, Bill Anders said, we came all this way to explore the moon, and the most important thing is we discovered the Earth. Neil Armstrong in 1969, it suddenly struck me that that tiny pea, pretty and blue, was the Earth. I put my thumb up and shut one eye, and my thumb blotted out the planet Earth. I didn't feel giant. I felt very, very small. Edgar Mitchell, 1971. Ed Mitchell, by the way, was someone who got into the Course of Miracles. He was in Florida the same time I was. We did some work together way back. But he said, after coming back in 1971, you develop an instant global consciousness, a people orientation, a dissatisfaction with the state of the world, and a compulsion to do something about it. From out there on the moon, international politics looks so petty. You want to grab the politician by the scruff of the neck and drag him a quarter of a million miles out and say, look at that, you son of a bitch. Pretty strong wording from Ed Mitchell. Then 1969, Rusty Schweikart. You look down and you can't imagine how many borders and boundaries you cross. Again and again, and you don't even see them. From where you see this thing as a whole, and it's so beautiful. You should take each one in hand, one from each side of various conflicts, and say, look at it from this perspective. Look at what's really important. Carl Sagan, when he first saw, he was an astronomer in 1900, the photos, or 1990, the photos from Voyager 1. Look again at that dot. That's here, that's home, that's us. On it is everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you've ever heard of, every human being who ever was, who lived out their lives. It's been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another, to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. Ron Garan in 2011, after his return from space. When we look down on the Earth from space, we see this amazing, indescribably beautiful planet. It looks like a living, breathing organism, but it looks so fragile. We're all in this together. And then Victor Glover, who just came back a week ago, you guys are talking to us because we're on a spaceship, or be in a spaceship really far from Earth. But you're on a spaceship called Earth. Created to give us a place to live in the universe. This is an opportunity for us to remember where we are, who we are. and that we've got to get through this together. In all of this emptiness, this thing we call the universe, you have this oasis, this beautiful place, and we get to exist together. This is an opportunity for us to remember who we are, where we are. The same thing. And we've got to get through this together. So as I've been searching for his quote yesterday, I was shocked. I just did a general search of how similar everybody's perspective is when they get this connectedness of the oneness of the planet. So I thought it was worth sharing. I thought it was interesting. Certainly touched my heart. And the main message that I hear in it is the recognition that we're in this together. What are we doing when we play this game of blame and this game of attack and this game of whatever it is that's running the globe into such crisis as it is today? Fortunately, at the same time, we have millions of people who are stepping up to the plate and doing something about it, living differently, seeing differently, shifting and changing their perception. So that's a powerful blessing. Welcome, Terry. How are you this morning, this afternoon?
Excellent.
Welcome, Donald. Go ahead, Terry.
I was saying excellent. I had a very, very nice experience this morning and the last couple hours, actually. I was breathing, doing a breath session. And one thing I started doing a couple weeks ago is that I noticed that my hands are really thick with this arthritis and stuff in it, whatever it is, inflammation or what have you. But I started doing some self-massage on that while I was breathing and using some of the orthobiotomy techniques.
Right.
That without, you don't even have to be specific. I just follow my intuition and move them and turn them and massage them. And the first time, a couple weeks ago, I was amazed at how much relief I got. And then today, it spread a little further, and I connected with my superconscious experience that I've talked about during the breathing. And it was very beautiful. And as I was laying in that, I was guided, inspired to continue with the stretching and massaging of myself. And went on for quite some time, 15 or 20 minutes or so. And the relief was phenomenal. When I rolled over onto my stomach, I was pulling my legs, fitting my legs up, and I started getting these cramps, and instead of resisting, I just laid into the cramps and let them come, and they dissipated, expanded. So I just didn't want to get up. I just want to stay in that space.
Hang with it. Yeah.
Forever. And finally,
that's our natural state.
Yeah. After a while, it's like, wow. Oh, let's just stay in this. So then I loaded up. I went to the food bank. They've got a food bank here, and you run the whole short on stuff I signed up a few months ago. Used it one time, and then was able to get some work going. So I went back today, and I was there for about an hour and a half. It was longer than I thought. That's why I'm late getting on the show. But again, it was just using the tool that you reminded me of was to just spray love everywhere I go. And the people were all so beautiful and helpful, and there was all these organic products and stuff in there. So I've got a truck full of groceries and a happy heart, and a body feeling better. And just listening to your space thing. And, William Shatner, I'm sure you probably read or saw about that when he came back from with Bezos and those guys. Did you read about that?
No, I have not.
Well, they kind of poo-pooed him and just like, oh yeah, whatever, old guy, crazy, demented. And he just was like speechless and stunned and couldn't understand why everybody else didn't get it. And the interviewer was like,
We lost your voice, Terry.
pardon me? You lost it? You there? You there?
We lost you.
Well, I see it quickly.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
And what's the last thing you heard?
It was that Shatner, they were treating him as if he was crazy.
Yeah, and Bezos was disregarding his, just kind of ignoring his dialogue. And Shatner couldn't believe that these folks could be that narrow-minded, and I think what he talked was about, they were so materialistically oriented that they couldn't grasp the beauty of what had just happened. And that was kind of his take on it. Did you catch that? Did you get any of that?
Yes. Yep,
Yeah.
got it all. Yeah.
So it was a good one to look at too, and how that affected him.
Yeah, I just found his quote. I saw a cold, dark, black, empty void. It was unlike any blackness you can see or feel on Earth. It was deep, enveloping, all-encompassing. I turned back toward the light of home. I could see the curvature of the Earth, the edge of the planet, the blue of the sky, the white of the clouds, and I realized that everything we've ever known is right there, this tiny, fragile ball of life. I had a difficult experience because I discovered that the beauty isn't out there. It isn't down there. Pardon me, it's down here with all of us. Leaving, hovering over the Earth, made me realize how delicate and precious life is. It filled me with dread. My trip to space was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it felt like a funeral. It was among the strongest feelings of grief I've ever encountered. The contrast between the vicious coldness of space and the warm nurturing of the Earth below filled me with overwhelming sadness. Notice his regulatory speech. He's putting all of the responsibility out there.
Yeah.
Every day we are confronted with the knowledge of further destruction of the Earth at our hands, the extinction of animal species of flora and fauna, things that took 5 billion years to evolve, and suddenly we'll never see them again because of the interference of mankind. And he projects that caused the dread he was feeling. Maybe we can talk with Billy and get him some forgiveness tools so that he can bring a different energy to that experience. But thank you for bringing that up. I hadn't. I remember now that I'd heard something about him going out there with Bezos, but I had never seen anything about it. So that's certainly another perspective.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, one of the dynamics that they were dealing with was Bezos' mother was appalled that her son would risk their life going up into space. It was the whole story around that too, and that was the thing going on. So, there was a lot of energy popping around that trip.
Yeah, it's something I kind of missed. I never really paid any attention to it, so thanks for bringing it up. I'll do some more reading about it.
Mm-hmm.
Perspectives.
And I think he's in his 90s.
Shatner. Yeah, I would imagine he's up there. It's what's that? Back in the '60s, he was Captain Kirk.
Yeah,
That's what 65 years ago, 60 years
Yeah.
ago. So yeah, he'd have to be up there. Well, good for him. Glad he's rocking on.
yeah.
Was that resonate anything for anybody else? Anything to share? Questions, thoughts? How are the tools moving for you? How's our conversation about regulatory speech, responsibility communication, projection communication? How's all of that fitting into your dynamics? Well, don't everybody hit your mute button at once, but come on, play with us.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah. Thank you for that was beautiful. The compilation of all of those astronauts' words. That meant the world to me. I want you to know. Thank you, and Jeannie, for
It
researching
really
that.
struck me.
Oh, me too.
I'd heard a bit here and there, but then after yesterday's show, it's like, well, I'm going to go out and look for that quote from the Artemis, and then let me look at what the others, and like they were so almost verbatim
Mhm.
experience. So,
Yes, and I have a funny story when this last integrity was both going up and coming down, and also during the journey. My family made note. They said, "What is up with this? Sally's like glued to the TV. I don't watch much."
right,
But I was riveted. Anything I could learn from that mission. And when they landed, I got a picture of the floating capsule with the big red stabilizing balloons around them. I have this picture that I took just picture off the TV. But I've been writing about and bringing that picture to various gatherings that I attend. And it's been a discussion about what came up for various people as they witnessed this positive thing happening among all the debris that we've been exposed to for years.
right.
And so people had visceral, very, very like wonderful reactions. And thank you for all the research because I will add that to something down the line. Because I think it's just so important for us to remember the preciousness of our life, the preciousness of the planet, the preciousness of the gifts that we manage. Like we are the ambassadors or the stewards. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I just thought when you said, does anybody want to play? I thought, well, I'll add a couple of sounds to that vibration or that song for the planet. It's pretty important that we just feel deeply into that possibility.
I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm. And I'll return to listening because I love to learn.
Cool. Well, I just posted or I'm just posting the first half of that,
Oh,
and
thank you.
the notes won't let me post the whole thing at once. So I'm going to go back and get the second half, but I assume I can do it in two pieces. And so if anybody wants a copy of it,
Thank
you'll
you.
have it there. Cool.
Very cool.
And we also need to share on that. I'm paying attention to what I'm copying and posting here so I can get it into the notes there. Two pieces. I'm going to have to do a third as well. So let's see. No better demonstration. So any thoughts for anybody else? Making the third cut. I think that's going to allow me to put the whole thing in. So I'll get my attention back. But if anybody wants that, there's the there's an opportunity. I still missed a little piece of it, so I'm going to do that third piece.
It's a shame that people have to go into outer space to see what beauty is right here in front of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is amazing, isn't it? And to realize that in the same way that when we say that makes me afraid, sad, angry, whatever, that the same principle applies. Seeing that from space doesn't make anyone experience anything, but it reveals what's in us and what we're destined for. And when we do our work, we literally have that exact same experience available of that kind of wonder, beauty, presence. It's all generated from within. Okay, I think this last cut and paste will get the rest of it. Oh, come on. Not quite. That we're down to the curvature. I wish they'd give us more room in the So other than that, how's everybody doing? Okay, Susan, it's time for you to get something stirred up here.
You're an evil man.
I know I can count on you.
You're bad, Michael. Mm. It's been rich. It's been good.
Tell me,
Good
what
learning.
has been rich? Something outside of you has been rich?
Oh no, it's all inside. Absolutely every bit of it.
Cool. So what's the deepest richness you've got that you can share with us now?
I don't think I could say. It's just a very full feeling in the heart. Joyful.
I'm with you.
Thanks for putting together all those quotes, by the way. I was going to ask you if you had written them down or somehow. Yeah, you just posted the last increment.
Actually, there's the last of his last sentence is missing, and I'm just copying that and I'll paste it in. Not his happiest thought. It filled me with dread. But of course, what we know is William Shatner has some dread about what's happening in the earth. And, I think one of the energetically, when we realize it, take something like dread. If I have dread about something, I am now a participant. I'm now a cooperator. I am now a supporter of whatever it is that I dread happening in the world because I'm adding energy to it. When I can take it back and own it and clean up my dread. Doesn't mean I can't hold concern, care, or recognize something needs to be done. But if I add dread, if I add fear, you look at that message that Job gives us, that which I feared most has come upon me. That's what I dreaded. Is the word dread as he is, has happened to me. And to recognize that, that's such an ancient message telling us these are the amplifiers for our creative activity. And when we clean them up, then we become cooperators, co-creators, and supporters of what it is we want to see happening in the world. While so much of the world is focused on what they don't want, and in a sense, rightfully so. There's some pretty crazy stuff happening. Some pretty tragic stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
But recognizing without saying a word our creative potential just by holding an energy about whatever the it in the world is, and that we can shift it and become supporters of its opposite by forgiving, by removing what doesn't belong and bringing in what does belong, bringing in that joy that you're talking about. And it's like, and something that really not sure what word to use, but impresses me at this moment is to have that. We don't have to do anything. It's just the natural gift for being human. And we are taught to trash it. And it's time for us to take that creative power back and recognize how deeply we've been tricked.
Well, Michael,
Yes, ma'am.
I dumped myself off. I just got back on. Judy is great. She keeps an eye on the screen for people like me who touch their hearing aid or otherwise push a wrong button. I was trying to find a photograph of Jonathan, my son Jonathan, as he's sailing east of South Carolina now. Just that what those astronauts saw, you can, and Jeannie's right. Too bad we don't all notice right here. But my son is on a voyage out into in the open sea. He took a panoramic video of the ocean at sunrise, and you couldn't see land in any direction. He moved the camera right around from sunrise to sunrise. And it's amazing to think that we could go out into the ocean far enough that we can only see ocean.
Right.
That's one thing. And the other thing is that my grandson Charlie was just given 2 awards, one for excellence as a pre-med student and one for interpersonal relationships, kindness, and a loving nature toward his fellow students.
Wow.
Isn't that the coolest thing?
That's awesome.
I know. And so there are gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful things happening all around. Yes. And so it's good. Jeannie's right. Well, let's just do those and let other things sort of find their way out of our system. Just
And of
keep.
course, we can only imagine what you're saying if we've freed ourselves of enough of the generational trauma that nags most people literally to death because they don't know there's a way to get rid of it. They don't know there's a way to dump it. I mean, it's not easy to just say, oh, well, we had a young man over here yesterday who's been helping us out a few weeks and hours a week in the garden. And just recently he's fallen into some depression. He was here yesterday. And so I, sat with him and talked and said, hey, but, it's like, well, I don't want to talk about it. I can't even think about it. I don't. And he ended up just, he's so distraught that with the offer of support, he just left.
Yeah.
And, and I recognize at this point, he doesn't have an option because he doesn't have any tools.
Yeah.
You and I have an option because we have tools. We know that something can be done. And that to me is the importance of getting the tools out there on a global scale, is just the simple fact that people know, oh, there's something I can actually do about this. That's like monumental in so many people's lives.
Yeah.
Jeannie, you went through the reading and the editing of the book with Jeannie, and you look at it was what, 30 years, Jeannie, before you even started to share or talk about what had gone on as a teenager. No option, nothing else to do but hide it. So, and by the way, speaking of your son, the picture from him, I took out the picture that you sent me of Luke and showed it to Jeannie. Luke has a twin, and his twin is Jeannie's nephew.
Really?
I showed it to her and said, "Who is this?" Oh, that's Kevin, our nephew.
Wow.
Yeah, good-looking boys.
Oh, yeah.
We're blessed. Yeah, it's so heartwarming, especially to hear his story. Being engaged from back when he was in so much trauma, and just what you've worked him through and walked him through is just really being in the practice of holding the space for him is probably his lifeline.
Who knows? But you said something about this young man who's in this depression and wouldn't talk. Our oldest fellow here, 22 almost years old, is in a terrible depression. He's been fired from his job and he won't talk. But I keep remembering what you said about it isn't always what you say.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that he just feels how much we love him here.
Yeah.
And we had to put in a new refrigerator for them in the basement. That's where the boys stay, and they stash a lot of food down there, and the refrigerator died. We got this new refrigerator, and it has to be delivered through a weird bulkhead entry inside the garage. So I thought, okay, now we can clean the garage because there's a motorcycle in there. The boy, this older boy, while he was working, he bought himself a huge motorcycle. And he thinks now he's going to have to sell it. But this is his freedom. He hops on it sometimes in the middle of the night and rides for hours and comes back. And it's his therapy, I think, is to feel that freedom.
Right.
And I love that he has it. And of course, every parent and grandparent thinks about the possibility of the vulnerability of a bike rider, that kind of bike rider.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of praying going on here, picturing well-being and safety
Dave,
and good vision.
is it a Harley? Is it a Harley Davidson?
Yes, I think it is. I
Well,
don't, yeah, go ahead.
apparently in the design of the Harley Davidson, literally the vibration of it, and this is according to some medical people, that there is a therapeutic energy to the vibration of the motor of a Harley Davidson motorcycle.
Oh, I'm not surprised. How fabulous to learn that.
Yeah. So holding the space for his therapy to be safe for him, for sure.
Well, he had a very harsh father, and the mother was smart enough and capable enough to get them away when they were small. But he, being the oldest one, got the most exposure to that really cruel dad, raging father. And so I think he's frightened of all adults. Tim Bingham is very gentle and soft with him, and he does talk to Tim a little bit. But using tools, it's not possible. It's just not. It's not going to happen yet. It's just by example and lots of caring for him and encouragement. Anyway,
Holding the space for sure.
Thanks.
What age is he?
21. He's still a kid, but and I wanted to ask you a whole other question, and I don't know if it's appropriate on the radio show, but Luke.
Well, just one thought before you go to that other subject or the other question. One thought that comes, one of the things that you said to me when we were talking about literally miraculous recovery from the space that Luke was in over a period of 4 years. There aren't many people in recovery that in 4 years go from where Luke was to where he's sponsoring people and supporting people and speaking to AA groups and entering into a wonderful relationship. That's a pretty miraculous story. And
it is.
Remember that it started with one worksheet you did in the basement with him, that was his turnaround.
I'll never forget.
That's what he goes to. So maybe this young man at 21 is ready for his first worksheet.
I'll see if I can do that. It would be wonderful.
We'll hold the space.
Thanks. It's a great thought.
And with his Middle Eastern genetics, he's closer to it than we are.
Oh.
The concept of it is built into the language. So he's closer to it and might be, if you can open that conversation with him, might be a whole lot more understanding and receptive to it, and might even share some things about it from, the way his mind has been structured by his language. He might have some gifts to offer you too, or us.
Oh, good. Oh, Sally wrote about her Harley days. Yay, Sally, you have many dimensions to yourself.
Now, Sally, I wouldn't have thought you of having had Harley days.
Look at that. That's cool.
3,000 miles.
Wow.
Surprise,
So you had
surprise.
another. Go ahead.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. That's not what I would have thought of you, but would be doing Harley, but. Hey.
Well, I was a tour guide, and we had European travelers coming to this country to experience Route 66. So it was sharing my country with people from Europe, and it was an opportunity to speak multiple languages and see the country and take care of people. So I said yes.
So you were doing your Harley on Route 66, doing tours. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. It's cool that highway has made the recovery that it has, because it almost got lost. We're watching a special on that recently, and how it almost got buried and it's coming back.
Yeah.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
Oh,
I drove a 68 Mustang from California back to Missouri on Route 66 back, oh, 25 years ago. So, Miss Susan, you were going to bring forward another topic.
I'm not sure this is appropriate, but Luke has got this young woman that he cares a lot about who is pregnant now.
Right.
But he's not sure that he should marry her. She's very needy and very young. She cries a lot. She's pregnant. Her hormones are all over the place. And
That's for
he's
sure.
kind of at a loss. And his mother is coaching him, and she's also taking the girl under her wing. This girl has had trauma. She was in foster care for a while. So there is a big story there. And
Mm,
she's a sweetheart, and she's getting her master's degree in English. So she's really applying herself, but she's just kind of fallen apart. And I think one reason she might be doing that is because she feels safe enough to fall apart. She
right.
adores Luke and he loves her, but he's thinking, is it okay if I don't make up my mind right away? And Tim Bingham and I are on different sides of the fence. Tim says, oh, it's a great disadvantage to a baby if it doesn't have a married pair bringing it up. And I'm saying, no, trouble in marriages, maybe not doing it and waiting is a good thing. And because it's very hard for a child to be in a household where there's strife too. So I'd love to know your views on that.
Well, the first thought that comes would be to share the commitment with them and explain to them that one and Luke, here's what we know is Luke's probably got with the fact that, his problem with alcohol went on for some time and he's done a lot of work, but there are going to be more layers and more levels of work to do that, to clean his mind up. So educating him and letting him know that, okay, so marriage, commitment, connection, raising a child is going to increase vitality where all sorts of things are going to come up. And by the way, remember the commitment because, in the same way the tool was a turnaround for him at one point, this tool of the commitment and recognize, okay, so this is how when I'm functioning as a natural human being, will function. I'm going to treat people lovingly, gently, with respect, and my thoughts, my words. That's my natural state. And to recognize that relationship is going to be the space where all of those things surface. Just that he knows that will make, whether married or not married, will make the possibility of a successful relationship be far more probable. And then, of course, the same for her. What kind of things has she been through that she was in foster care and what kind of traumas? They're going to have to come up. They're going to have to be dealt with.
Yeah.
And so educating them, maybe sharing the healing, sitting down with them and watching, do it on Zoom and watch the Healing Through Relationships workshop. And, here are some of the things that are going to happen. And instead of being, zapped into oblivion the first time something comes up and, she gets into one of her crying jabs and jags and does whatever her power person did, which is maybe puke on him. Maybe your power person puked on her. We're going to puke on him. And of course, he's been puked on before. So up will come, oh my God, I'm getting puked on. I have to get out of here. It's like just to know that it's safe for those things to come up and for us to keep moving forward to our natural state, our most normal state, that joy that you're talking about, that even when your stuff is coming up, you're realizing the true essence is that joy. Most people don't know that, especially young people today. Give them that knowledge and they've got
That is a great idea to do the commitment. Just send it to him and say, read this to yourself at first and see what that does, and then share it with her if you want. But you don't even have to. Just do it. Oh man, that's such a great
and tap
idea.
into that. And this is son. This is this is Orb talking now. Son, this is our natural state, and you got a few other things that are going to come up, and they're going to come up in that relationship. When they come up, remember that worksheet. work through it, let go of it, and keep coming back as the true being that you are, that you've discovered that you are, and they'll have a a way better chance of actually creating wondrous relationship, as opposed to most people who, resonance draws us to our matching bags of garbage. We hide our bags of garbage and we say, I'm in love. But then, the honeymoon gets risky when one gives the other the look, and if people know what's coming and that it's an internal experience and can be worked through, it's like, what a gift that this is actually a gift you'll receive from this relationship.
That's a
Again,
good idea.
married or not. And certainly there is, if the marriage, quote unquote, that they enter is one that's entered within and with awareness and understanding, this is going to, if we truly do marry, this is going to increase the vitality of both of us, which means that there's going to be an intensity here that I would never otherwise experience in my life.
Yeah.
And the intensity is going to be of being, of beauty, of wonder, and of insanity, if there's insanity in there.
Right.
And just to have the knowledge that, and it's okay for the insanity to come up.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
to work through it. To me, that's
fantastic.
they're halfway there.
As soon as I'm off the show, I'll get the commitment and just send it to him and offer that first and remind him how the wake up sheet helped, and offer to do another wake up sheet with him and with Othman, the young man who's living with us. He is such a sweet fellow, and he's struggling. So
and perhaps with Luke's uncertainty, that itself could be a good topic of worksheet about where to go with this relationship. That would be perfect to clear out the layers of uncertainty and such.
Yeah, good idea.
So I'll certainly hold the space and join with you in being the tree that stands upright, from which Luke gets to co-regulate, bounce from, and learn from. And the fact that the work you've done is now in his genes as well, that with your support and mentorship, the chances of success are pretty strong.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, I'll hold the space for him. And, we talked at one point in the past that I would like to, with his history with me, mine with him, I would still hold the space that if he'd like to come and do a 3-day quantum still point, I would love to do that with him.
I'll tell him that.
So, cool. Awesome. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us once again. And please pass the links to the show on. If you happen to watch the show on YouTube, please remember to hit a like and or make a comment. That helps to build our rankings. Every time somebody hits a like, YouTube puts a check mark in that says, people are appreciating this one. We'll put this higher up in the rankings. And then if someone makes a positive comment, that takes it still to another level and makes it more likely they'll recommend it and help us to get this to every mind, heart, and being on the planet. So thank you for being here. Much